Part 5 of our 1982 Honda ATC 200M, the Veteran Project. And I gotta tell you guys that I done something that I said I wasn't going to do, and I got a little bit carried away with the with the paint again. I said I was going to keep it original, but as I got down on the last video, you'll see video 4, the frame was over there sitting pretty much just a bare frame except for the front end. I never removed the front end because the bearings, fender, everything was fine. So today was a day at the front bearings, brake assembly, and all the levers of course were seized. The internal workings of this lever, so we got all that spring loaded. No, that's working fine. Shoes weren't too bad really. Cables, I got a cable ordered. So all the collars were seized onto the shaft and all that fun stuff, so it all had to be worked in a way that we wouldn't ruin our shaft, because they're very rare and it was in remarkable shape. So it all had to be sanded down, cleaned up, lubed up, anti-seized, 2 new bearings in, replaced seals. So after we got that installed, I had a little bit of time scraping the rim there. Somebody got excited and painted the rim black, so I did scrape it a little bit. It does seem like it's going to come off, so that's a project for later. But the goal was today is just to get her back on the wheels. So then we moved to the rear end, and that was quite a task as well. As you've seen in the last video, this hub, the 2 hubs were welded, so I had to grind off the one on the right side to get the shaft to go back through on the sprocket side this way. So grinded off the hub, and I figured I would, as long as I was at it, I would try the bolts for the mount, for the rear carrier mount and the adjustment on the top and bottom. And sure enough, I got the shaft put back together and the bearings put in and all that stuff. And when I went to turn the bolts, I remembered on past experiences that sometimes the inner nut, you get a bolt going through this way, and there's a nut on the inside the carrier tacked on from the factory. And what happens, they break free, and you're spinning and spinning and spinning, and nothing's going on. So you can't get you don't get no torque on your rear end. You end up with a wearing your tires or a misalignment, or anyway. So I was halfway done all that, took it all apart again, got the welder out, cleaned it all up, sanded it all down. I spot welded all four of the bolts. So when she went together, had a little bit of trouble with the brake drum and the spline. So yeah, 2 new bearings in. I did take the seals out of all 4 bearings, front and rear, repacked them. There's not much in them when you buy them. A little bit of Vaseline, looks like. So yeah, the case, the chain guard was pretty much folded in half, and like I say, this hub was welded on, so I couldn't separate it between the sprocket and the hub unless I grind off this hub. So I said, do the best we can. I straightened it out, and this little outer guard, straightened that one out as well, and the threads were fine. Now it's not directly in its resting position as it's going to be, because I got a couple clips now I got to dig out, but it's tacked on, and it's very tight in the rear, except for that hub. Now there's a bit of play in that hub, but I'm very impressed with that. So then I looked at the plan was, I had a can of spray paint, so I was just going to spray paint the little, just to blend it in a little bit where it's rusty down here, where the bottom of the engine is. So of course now once I started doing it, I had it all taped off and done over with rags and stuff. And like I said, this is not going to be showroom, but this is only something now to get this going in memory of my great uncle. So I went on ahead, spray painted it, So, and now of course I'm going to have to do the racks. But it is what it is. You know, you get it down to a certain point and say, ah, well, I'm not going to do this, not going to bother. But it almost seems every time you, seems like you goes a little bit further than what you planned. You know, there was a budget on this, but the budget is pretty much blown because the seat that I ordered, I'm sure you guys are familiar, but the 281 to 83 seats had a steel plate, right? Steel bottom to them, or seat pan. And this one still got the tool package. So it's little stuff like that that really gets me intrigued. So anyway, the life of your machine is, I think, when you're in the value, when you're looking at it, is a good seat and a good tank. And we have neither. So if we're going this far in depth into it, I was looking at a tank on eBay, and I was looking at a seat on eBay, and of course, here in Canada, time something comes from the US and we pay duties on it, and now eBay got HST, GST added. So you guys are free to comment on what you think of that, paying GST and HST on a 41-year-old part ass cushion. So $461 later, I got a seat ordered with no cover. Well, the cover's on the seat I got ordered, but it got to be reupholstered. So, and no doubt I'm going to have to go over these little tabs, and I'm going to end up breaking most of them off when I get the seat and take that off. But anyway, yeah, and I ordered a tank. The tank was pretty much rotted out. Not this one, that was the one I got ordered. But it looked like someone done a decent job on it, and all the stickers original around there, and the warning stickers around there. It looks good, I'm going to say, but there is a couple pinholes according to the description. So what we're going to do, we're going to put a liner. We're going to fix the pinholes in the tank when it comes, and we're going to put a liner on it. I could have got a new plastic tank for half of the price that I paid for this 41-year-old tank, but when you're looking at a machine like that, and you see a plastic tank, I think it would be, it would take the value right off it. And not only that, the nostalgia, right? When my uncle owned it, I want it to look just like the way he owned it. But so we got front brake cable coming, and I'm not going to bother with the rear, I don't think, because the drum is pretty much destroyed. I can put it on the lathe, I guess. But yeah, I'm not going to bother with the rear brakes. Not at this point. We're going to see what she's going to do when we get her all back together. I get most of my engine parts, valves, tiny chains, and I ordered a new chain. Bought a new chain, drive chain, rings, exhaust gaskets, even the tail light lens. So, for Uncle Elam, 30 years in the making. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching video 5. Next video is probably going to be engine reassembly. I did get at this with the brush and took off a lot of the outstanding grease that was on there and mud. So I might go over that once again and get all the old oil and stuff off the head. I'm in over my head, so it just will keep going. There's a little bit of wear on the cam, but it's not in regards, there's no mushrooming or anything happening there, but just a little bit of scraping there. And in the previous video, the exhaust valve was the lash was way too much adjustment on it, and that's the valve that was destroyed. So this will be a job for another day, cleaning up some parts, and we're getting some snow, so what better place to be, I guess, in Then in the garage, cleaning up some parts. The one good thing is that I haven't got to fork out $400 for an exhaust. That's going to look pretty nifty on the back, I think. CRF 230 exhaust. So, I don't know what it's going to sound like, but I think it's got to be cut off and it got to be routed. So, I hear say, going to have to mount the engine, make some measurements, remove the engine, weld the exhaust, and then take it apart. Because I want to see, I'm going to try to make it 2-piece exhaust. If not, it might have to be one single piece, and that means if it got to come off again, it would have to be cut off. So we want to make sure our engine's running good. Maybe I'll just install the header pipe and get the engine running, and then go ahead and install the exhaust. So we'll see. Like you say, I'm going to include the final budget. On the first video, I think I said that we were thinking about $1,000 budget, but we're already over that, so stay tuned for the final reveal. And I'm kind of keeping track on what we're spending, but it's going to be over and above. So anyway, making this video too long, so we'll cut her back and we'll see you guys on the next video. All the best. Over and out.